Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 123 of Two Amazon Sellers and a Microphone, brought to you by Solozo. And today, Chris and I are really pumped because we're going to start a new series called Amazon Seller Journey, where we talk with different Amazon sellers about their journey. And first one on with us is Daniel Espy. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Oh, we're fantastic. We're fantastic. We were just chatting with you for a few minutes before this, so we know it's gonna be a lot of fun. We love talking to people with energy and passion.
Yeah.
You can always tell right off the bat when somebody has this, and you've got it. So we can't wait, Daniel, to just dive in and learn a little bit about your journey, how you got started, what you're doing now. So let's start right off the bat. Introduce yourself, Daniel. Tell us a little bit about you and just sort of what got you started selling on Amazon.
Yeah, I like to call myself the least likely Amazon seller. I have a degree in dirt from Auburn University, and I have a degree in Bible from seminary. And so now I sit here selling on Amazon, and this is the last thing I thought I would ever be doing in my life. And yeah, kind of how my story got started was my wife and I, we had planted a church up in Seattle, Washington, and we had left Washington because we always had a desire to do ministry with college students. So summer of 2018, we took off with our 4 kids and our Great Dane in our minivan, and we just drove around the country until we decided where we were going to land. And after all that, we ended up landing in Gainesville, Florida at the University of Florida, where I volunteer my time pastoring a church. We homeschool our 4 kids. And I have a couple of other business interests. My wife has a really big business that she runs that kind of set us on the path to financial freedom. That kind of left me with some time on my hands trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And the real desire for Amazon became I wanted to teach my 2 oldest kids how to start a business. Like, how do we do this from the ground up? Teach them to be entrepreneurs, to be self-starters, to be independent, not, needing anything from anyone else. So I just started researching the Amazon space, and I came across one program that cost $250, and we'll just say I got what I paid for because I signed up for my account and it got frozen for 4 months. It took me that long to get it unlocked because I checked one box I wasn't supposed to check that they told me to check, and I was utterly frustrated. And then I'm a part of a podcast group called Wealth Without Wall Street. And one day they had some guys on there named Neil Twa and Reed Larson with ASIN 360 and Voltage Marketing. And I heard about their program. And so I told my wife, hey, I think this is what we've been looking to do. I got my 2 teenagers, and we spent the entire week listening to 5 one-hour broadcasts about what they were doing and what they were promoting with their business. My wife and I, we talked about it. Neil interviewed us. What I loved about the process was they don't just take anybody as students. They want to make sure you're the right person. They're not just trying to make money for the sake of making money. They want to have the right students in there. And so we interviewed with them. They interviewed us, and we made the financial commitment to what is essentially a year of mentoring and training. That takes you from the very basics of knowing nothing about this ecosystem to, hey, here's what it's going to look like to sell your business in 2 to 3 years to somebody at, whatever multiple we can get out of it. So my journey, was crazy. What I love about the process is, I knew nothing, but the first lesson is a 4-hour lesson on shipping and customs brokers. And what an incredible lesson, and looking up tariff rates and how to figure out all that stuff. And like, wow, what an amazing ecosystem this is. Then the next 4-hour lesson is I love the title of this. What the hell am I going to sell, right? Because you have no idea what you're going to sell. And I always love asking people this question. Like, do you know how many unique individual products are for sale on Amazon? Do you guys know?
A lot.
Billions. 600 million products. Yes. Like, that just blows me away. So lesson number 2 is like, hey, how do you get your list of 500 products, right? And you're just going all over the place. And me and my teenagers, we're looking for things. And I'm like, I don't even know you could buy these things on Amazon. And then you get that into this, they have these spreadsheets, they develop it for you, and they show you just plug in these numbers. make some contacts with some suppliers and start figuring this stuff out to see if it's actually a profitable product. Because I mean, isn't that the big thing you hear people all the time? They try to sell, but are you really selling a profitable product? And one of their principles is we want to sell items between $30 and $200 because that's where you get enough margin in there. So we got that list from 500 down to 10. And for one of those things, Reed, who's the CFO, the COO, the really numbers guy, said, look, this is the one. If you can figure out this product, you will make a lot of money and have a successful business. And here's what's so funny about it. It ends up being luxury bedding, right? Okay, so here you have a guy. Again, this is the least likely seller. I have a degree in dirt and a degree in Bible. I know nothing about luxury bedding. I know nothing about fashion. I know nothing about textiles whatsoever. But through the mentoring and the coaching, there was this product that, hey, this is it. And so I said, all right, but I'm just going to learn about it. I'm going to figure out grams per square meter. I'm going to learn about fiber density. I'm going to learn about, the length of fibers and why all this stuff matters and ordering samples. And man, it has been an amazing journey for what I would call an Alabama redneck originally trying to learn about luxury bedding and selling it on the World Wide Web on the Amazon platform. And, so they teach you in these modules about composite listings and flat files and images and just how to do all this stuff and just things you would never know. Your 90-day cash plan, which I say now is a 180-day cash plan because of the production times and the shipping times and all that stuff. But they walk with you, every step of the way. I love the program because not only do you get personal calls with them every week, there's also one group call every week. And then there's a high level group call every 3 weeks where we discuss bigger business principles. And so where else are you going to get ongoing coaching and mentoring like that for an entire year? And these guys have provided all that. And so, my story is I order this product. I have no idea what it's going to do. My wife picked we had 4 designer colors. She picks it. We launched this thing on Thanksgiving Day. And by the end of the year, December the 31st, we've basically sold out of everything, right? Like $57,000 in sales, 5 weeks, brand new product. And it's like, oh my, I had no idea this was going to do this, right? And I only turned on advertising for the first 14 days. And it was selling so fast and so rapidly. It's like, I'm not going to have enough product in store to keep up with this. So I'm just going to turn off advertising. And my sales went from like 40 a day to about 20 a day, but I didn't care because at this point I was making really good profit margin on those sales because there was no PPC attached to it. And we know the beginning is always the most expensive part of that. And, and then I had a little bit of stuff left that I'd kept back in inventory. But part of this, again, it's not all roses, right? I placed my second order December the 22nd. That order is not going to hit me personally until 2 weeks from now.
Wow.
So 7 months. Now, what I've had to do in that time is, I've got this order that's about to land officially. I've got another order that's going to leave the factory. Well, I'm going to say it's going to be done at the factory on July the 17th. Leaving the factory is a totally different game these days. But it'll leave the factory hopefully in the first or second week of August. That'll be my Q4 order. But I've already placed my third order, which will arrive I got it scheduled to arrive January the 1st. So I've got about 9 months booked out. And lucky, fortunate for me because of other business that we have, I have the financial means to place 9 months worth of inventory to deal with all the craziness that's going on in the world. So there's been a lot of sitting around doing nothing, refining things, making images sharper and tighter and trying to do more copyright, researching other products. But that's where I sit. I actually made a profit off my first order, which I think is a huge success for who else starts a business. And the first order actually makes money, right? And with now what I've learned, it'll be even more profitable because I learned some heartaches along the way. I will say this: if you're selling and you've never done this, I now send in a 9-page operational guideline document to my supplier that tells every single thing that I expect in my order, because my first order, even though it went through an inspection and passed the inspection, when my product showed up, the first 5% of that order I would not sell to the public. And but again, I had no idea. I didn't know what the actual guidelines were. That 2%, I guess, is industry standard of order being messed up. But there was 5% that was no good whatsoever. But me and my wife and my kids, and even some of the people in my small group at church, we went through every one of 1,000 units and unboxed them all, unpackaged them all, put them back together.
Wow.
But all the lessons we learned were amazing. So now I have this 9-page document that I send to a new supplier that says, these are all my expectations. And they passed their inspection with flying colors. And, and now we're really, really ready to roll in that. That's one of the huge lessons I learned. So even though I lost 5% of my inventory, and one of the sizes and colors that I had, I thought would sell well, but it was awful. So I've still got like 100 units of that, which is just going to be very slow over time and still being profitable, only selling about 80% of my inventory. Man, I feel like, the program really works and is really, I've seen great success just following all their steps.
Let's break that down. I got a sheet of stuff
Yeah.
I can talk about.
I've got lots of questions.
I've been here. You're ready to sit down. So I want to break down. This is really important. Mentor versus a course. You can do one, like, people think I get a course. People think they get a course, but they actually need a mentor. Daniel, I think you're gonna have a better explanation. Break that down between mentor versus a course.
Yeah, so the course was just all kind of video stuff, but that's all it was, and there was no live help really to get involved. Where mentors, Reed and Neil have been doing this for about 8 years, I think. So they have not only launched a bunch of brands, launched a bunch of products, they've helped a lot of people really scale their businesses. So, here's a prime example. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he's like, hey, Neil and Reed said I should talk to you because I'm really skeptical about all these. And this guy had done all this research and had done all these things, but he had yet to pull the trigger on Amazon. And I said, he's like, I think I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. And I said, look, I know the cost is up there, and it's a tough pill to swallow sometimes. But I can tell you, these guys, in paying for mentors, are going to save you so much time and money by helping you avoid the mistake before you ever make the mistake. And when it comes to Amazon, if you make a mistake on Amazon, it's crucial. They are not forgiving, and it is almost impossible to get a hold of somebody in the Amazon ecosystem to get something fixed, as I can attest. So it's like, whatever the cost of it is, it will save you money just in the headache of having to deal with it. Because I have a private WhatsApp channel with Neil and Reed. If I have any question, I'm just like, hey, this came up, and they will almost always respond within 15 to 30 minutes. Having other like-minded, because not even the mentorship part of it, the encouragement, right? We know how frustrating this business can be. Having other people, the other 10, 15 people in your group who are going through this, Neil and Reed are encouraging you. They're instructing you because Amazon has something new every day. Or, hey, guys, this person has this image over here. Let's look at it. Let's talk about it. What can we do about it? Getting immediate feedback and input on sometimes a daily/weekly basis. Just having people who have walked that road before you, it is so invaluable, and it is worth every single penny you'll pay for it, and then some. I always say, I want people who over-deliver on their promises. And if you find a mentor who will over-deliver on their promises and actually will spend time with you, that's the kind of person that you want to be with. And so that's the difference between a mentor and a course.
Well, I want to jump in here real quick and let everyone know who's listening. If you don't know of Neil, he came onto our podcast and did a 5-part series with us where he went through all the things you're talking about. Like, what the hell do I sell? That was his first episode with us, like you brought up. all the way through his platinum principle, which is just sort of his overarching principle of business. But it's episode 110 through 114 on Two Amazon Sellers and a Microphone for anybody who wants to listen and hear what Neil has to say. I mean, we had a blast talking with Neil, and Chris and I have been selling for a long time, and we learned things. I mean, we definitely learned some different tactics and strategies from Neil that we had not thought of, or if it was a little counterintuitive that he brought to our attention. So we had an absolute blast. So anybody who's listening right now, go listen to those episodes with Neil. Daniel, now let's go back to more of your story here. I want to go way back to the beginning because I got a real important question. So an Auburn boy is now living in Gainesville and interning at University of Florida. So how does that go over?
Well, it's orange and blue, so it's way better than being at the University of Alabama. Right? I mean, at least here we're on opposite sides of the division. It has not gone well for me since I've been here. The one home basketball game we lost here, the one home football game we lost here. So I am hoping we turn it around very soon because the students love to give me an incredibly hard time about my Auburn affiliation.
Yeah, I just had to bring that up.
Yes, it's a hard day as an Auburn Tiger some days.
So what are you doing? So right now you're in sort of a holding pattern. You've sold through your first inventory, or at least except for the one variation that is more of a slow mover. And now you're waiting on this. What is your goal right now? Are you looking for ways to expand this brand into new products? Or what are your thoughts right now?
Yeah, so right now, I've doubled my colors from 4 to 8. I've also found a new little niche. For my same supplier, I'm always one of those like, hey, what are you already selling that's there? Finding that niche, I already trust you. You're going to bring it, and so I've got a new node that I'm going into. I've expanded my colors. Those are the big things that are on the horizon right now. So as these orders start coming in, it's going to give me more reach into Amazon. Right now, facing the shipping battle that everyone's facing, right? I've been negotiating with shippers, not negotiating, just how can we figure this out, right? A little tip that I've learned very recently from my freight forwarder, it's actually cheaper to ship LCL than it is to do full containers right now. So split up your shipments and get them sent where they need to be. I just did a big cost analysis over the weekend going, hey, if I send half my stuff to LA to my 3PL and half my stuff to myself here in Gainesville, Florida, even though it's $4,000 more in shipping to go to Gainesville than to LA right now, which used to not be, with all the 3PL cost, it basically came within $400 any way I did it. So now I'm kind of insuring myself half the stuff going to LA, and in case if anything messes up there, I've still got half coming here, but it'll get my product in quicker, but I can get it here. So just fighting that shipping thing. Another tip I picked up from my freight forwarder today, I guess U.S. Customs is really hammering on your shipping cartons, and they're looking on the inside of your box to make sure that it says made in whatever country that it comes in from. So you need to have made in wherever it's coming from written on the inside of your shipping cartons because they're really cracking down on that right now. So I'm just working on some of those things on the back end. I'm getting ready to really go back through all my search terms to really kind of re-engage some of those things, those keywords that I've been focusing on. One of the big tips I'll give you, and you guys are the PPC guys, but I learned this along the way. Find those products that are similar to yours, but yet there may be like a step up in luxury. So I always give this example, and this is not what I sell. Let's say you do stainless steel pots and pans, but yet there's titanium pots and pans that cost twice as much. Go for those keywords of those things that are 2 to 3 times the cost of whatever your product is. Advertise up in there. And I had a lot of conversions in things that sold for 3 to 4 times what mine did, because they would go, oh, you're showing that this is comparable to this thing and it's really close, and I can get your item for a third to a fourth of the cost. And those are just some of the key terms that I've learned along the key things I've learned along the way. as I've been kind of in a holding pattern waiting for my product to arrive.
You touched on a few things there. You threw the word node in there. If people don't know what a node is, tell us why you look at the node compared to just doing product research. Why is the browse node so important?
Well, because you can actually find what people are selling, right? I mean, you can really get down to the nitty gritty. The other thing about Neil and Reed's program is they have their own proprietary software. I mean, I use Helium 10. I know most people do, or Jungle Scout, but they have their own software called Phoenix or sixleaf.com. And man, I will tell you what, by really, and I would even go further than the node, right? Because you when you search in the node, like you can look up your product and you will get a sheet with 60 items in there that are all the way down your node, and you're seeing what all your competitors are based on this search term, and you're really seeing what sells. But as I've told people in my group is, if you really go into my product and into my price range, there are really only 4 other competitors on all of Amazon that sell in the price range that I do. And so often, we get on there and we see this product, right? And the price can go anywhere from $20 to $100 for this product. And you're like, I'm never going to be able to compete with the $20 guy. And it's like, and they make it seem like it's the same product as the $100 product, when in reality, if you've ever ordered samples, you know it's not, even though all the stuff can say it is. But yet you look at it and you go, okay, there are people who are looking for this product in this price range. So if I give a really good product, I've really only got 4 competitors on this entire ecosystem, because a lot of buyers, they don't want to buy the cheap stuff. They don't want to buy the mid-level stuff. They want to buy the upper level stuff. And you just go and find that upper level of how many units are moving per month. Because I can easily see on mine, once you go like $10 over where I sell at, the units per month drops drastically. Mm-hmm. And so by really focusing in there, now it's just like, I just don't have to beat them on my listing, right? I just have to beat them on my images. I just have to beat them on my copyright. And even though they've got, really good reviews, I launched this product back in November, no reviews. My top competitors have 3,000 to 4,000 reviews a piece, have been on there for 5 or 6 years in the ecosystem. And I'm selling product this fast, just getting going, because my images are there. And I actually have about a 10% review rate on my product. So from everything I've been told, that's actually really good. I'm told it's like
really good.
It's like really 1%, and I don't do anything to solicit reviews. So
do you use the review request button? Do you do that?
I only started doing that recently on the Amazon platform, but again, I'm not really selling anything to do that, right? So that wasn't available when I started.
That's a good point. I'll tell you what, this you're highlighting just with mentorship, how quickly you can get up and running, because you're talking about high level concepts. I mean, I'll speak for Chris, but Chris and I, we bootstrapped our venture. We have used mentors and stuff in the past, but it was mostly us listening to podcasts, and we've made all the mistakes possible and had all the successes possible. But your ability to get started really fast and scale was because of your decision to, instead of just start and research, you went straight for a mentor. I think that's
absolutely. Mm-hmm. I mean, they help me come up with a brand name. I mean, I don't know any of this stuff, right? I mean, it's like, hey, here's how you do the brand name. Here's how let's spend an hour working on composite listing, and just putting all that stuff together. I mean, and what I love about it is, all the videos are recorded, so you've always got them there to go back through. They record their video calls every week, so you can go back and watch them. So there's, and they even have like a way you can search, a word, like if you're looking for a certain topic, it'll research. They have all their videos transcripted from however long they've been doing them, and it'll find that topic, and you can go and watch them teaching on that subject. I mean, just the wealth of knowledge there is absolutely incredible.
It's so cool. So now Wade, you've got this inventory lined up, and this is another thing that it was interesting because we just had on our last podcast, we had Orion who was talking about just like what you mentioned is getting your inventory split up so you can manage your cash flow better, which for anyone who's starting selling, cash flow is super critical, and you can overbuy and you can underbuy. I mean, we just spent an hour talking about this on the last podcast, and the fact that you're getting yourself set up that way right now, how do you see that helping you, like where you're talking about, you're trying to launch other products, but since you've got your cash flow spread out on these shipments where they're 3 months apart or whatever, that's going to be a big help.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, when I first started this, like I was scared to death to make the order, right? I mean, the way they teach you in the program and the way most people do it is you start with a test order of 50 units, right? To see if this product will actually sell on Amazon, not doing much heavy lifting. But I knew that if I was going to go into luxury bedding, you can't go in there and piecemeal this thing together because people are going to think, oh, you're some chintzy person selling at this high dollar amount. So I ordered 1,000 units. And so my first order with tariffs and all that stuff, it was about $40,000. Now, I mean, I was scared to death. I was like, I don't know if any of this is going to work. And I was petrified. And so I underbought in the beginning, where now I may have overbought with where I'm at, but I'm not worried about that because if I've overbought, it'll just sharpen my skills in having to learn how to do better keyword research and learning how to advertise better and learning how to do Instagram influencers and going out to different channels. So the overbuying of things, I think, you got to make this commitment. You got to go all in on it and figure that part out. Because I will tell you, it is miserable sitting around since December the 22nd waiting on product. So my thing is, especially if because like with the software we use that Reed and Neil have, like I know my 3 top competitors sell between 700 to 1,200 units a month, and so now I have really solid data to go. Hey, and this is not counting. That's not counting what Q4 is going to do, right? That's on like a 30-day, the last 30 days that I see that. So we know it's going to be increased in Q4. So I may have overbought, but at the end of the day, I know I'm going to sell it, and I'll figure out a way to sell it. What I can't figure out how to do is to make it magically appear in my FBA warehouse to do anything.
Are your kids still involved? Do they help out still, and they do logistics with you or anything?
Yeah, well, again, that was the thing when it first came in and it was FBM. We are just packing up 30, 40 orders a day. We got a little assembly line at my kitchen table doing that. My daughter helps design some small level things. Like every time we do UPC codes, like she goes and generates those and she builds them on Canva and she sends them, gets them ready in a folder to send off to the supplier. So those are the things that they've been doing, and we're going to get a lot more into this once I actually have some business reports to show them. We talk for the numbers, we talk for the search terms, all those advertising things. So they're really into it. They really want to be a part of it. They want to launch their own products right now. I just told them, hey, right now I'm kind of time strapped and a little bit cash strapped between all the other endeavors that I have going on in my life.
Hey, what about the congregation there at the church? Do they have any idea what's going on, or do you just?
Oh yeah. We talk about it. I mean, they know what I do. I mean, this is not my only business venture. I'd actually launched 2 other businesses right before COVID started, and COVID wiped out one. As soon as it got off the ground in kind of the short-term rental Airbnb space. But I've actually launched another business with a business partner of mine doing brain scans. Again, totally different, has nothing to do with this. But yeah, I mean, they're very aware because again, for me as a follower of Jesus, I mean, I'm really not doing the Amazon business to make a lot of money for myself. My wife and I's dream with this is to do as much good in the world with this money and actually to never take any money for ourselves in this adventure. And we're going to have to somewhere along the way. but our other business supports that stuff. But we have a lot of things that we just want to do as far as good in the world, extending the kingdom of God into the world. And so that's really the end goal for us. And we want our kids to take it, because my dream is my kids, they're now 14 and 15, the two oldest, is that at 17 and 18, they'll just take it over. They're making six figures a year. And it's like, if you want to go to school, go to school. But I can just tell you, I know all these students. I know how in debt they are. I know what they're coming out and making each year. You'll be way ahead of the game if you've already started your own business and you've learned this e-commerce thing. Because this is something you can do from your, the laptop lifestyle, as we call it. We want to live a laptop lifestyle where your time is your own. That's our big thing, is freedom, right? And freedom is time freedom. If you have enough money to do the things you want to do when you want to do them, then that's the most freedom you can get in this life from a business perspective.
I like it. And I resonate with the bringing your family in. I've got two boys. One's a teenager, one's 11. And that was the reason when I started, they were young. They were like 7 and 4 or something like that. But they were in, and they did all the stuff. Like when I started, you could order all these, we had to label them ourselves. So they're like, I've got thousands of units out there and they're sticking all these labels on them. And they just became a part of the process. And what a great skill for the rest of your life to learn how to be an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. I mean, we're actually building this into their whole homeschool curriculum, right? Mm-hmm. All these business classes. If you're out there and you got kids, one of the programs we just came across that is amazing is called middleschoolmba.com, right? This guy was this big corporate guy, and it's all about practical lessons about negotiating, suppliers, and the course is $60. Okay, so this is like a whole semester course for middle school students that he's taught, and it costs you $60, right? And so we're going to do that with our kids this year, and they get to negotiate with one another, and it's all timed. And so just learning these principles of how all this stuff around the world works is just going to really broaden their education to give them real world experience as they go out and try to, tackle whatever it is God has for them.
That's a big turning point. Like, school was a big thing, like go to college. Now you can just learn things on the internet, and you can learn this e-commerce thing, and you mentioned it. You can make six figures pretty quick.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is truly amazing what you can do. Like my wife, she built her business, just through her, basically on the internet, and that thing just goes gangbusters. And the things you can do if you're willing to figure it out and not go the traditional route of, we always tease that, you hear in the world about pyramid schemes, right? We always say all true corporations are pyramid schemes, because you can never go above the CFO. You can never go above the CFO. They have you trapped down in there to where you can't get to the next level unless they allow you. Well, the only thing stopping me from going to the next level in Amazon is me, and I'm the only one holding me back. I mean, there's 600 million products out there. There are hundreds of million people using this thing. There is nothing stopping me from being successful except the time and energy that I put into this.
It's a great point. And it also brings up the point about the value of like a mentorship or the course that you're paying for. Because look, I got these 2 diplomas over here. They were really, really expensive.
Yeah.
They were way more expensive than any course I've taken. I guarantee you, the stuff I've learned on my own or with mentors is 1,000 times more valuable and cheaper than that. And it comes right back to your point about how you chose to start this endeavor is really, to me, it's neat. I mean, you went straight out of the bat with a mentor, and you brought your whole family in. I think that's fun. It's fun to watch videos like that with your sons or daughters.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's yeah. So what's next for you? Where are you going now? You've got your launch, you're waiting for your product coming in. It sounds like you've got all kinds of ventures going on. It sounds like you don't like to slow down very much.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think in the Amazon space, it's just really figuring out how to get this selling, how to get this going, and just see what it actually does. I mean, I've proven the concept, but I have no idea how big the scale of that concept is actually going to be. I've got other product ideas to launch alongside of my products. It's just at some point, it's like, how much time do I have to give to this? Because here's what I figured out about my product. My product without advertising has a $35 net profit margin. And here's the deal. I only have to sell 10 units a day to make over $100,000 a year net profit. So it's just kind of, what do I want to do with it, right? Because at some point it's like, oh, I can keep selling and keep putting all this effort and energy into it. But is it worth all that effort and energy to squeeze out 150, 200K a year? Or it's kind of like, hey, I can spend 10 minutes a day on this and make 350, 500 bucks a day profit and not do anything. And so that's all for me. Because for me, it's not about the zeros. It is not about the zeros. It is about that time, the education for my kids, spending time with my wife and my kids. It's about being able to stand in the line at Disney and watch the sales rack up on Amazon with the least amount possible, right? Yeah. I have 2 hours of Disney. So we do lots of homeschool adventures down to Disney during the school year. Now they're back up because that's the life that we want to give to our kids and take them traveling around the world. My wife and I, we met as missionaries in Africa. So we are super adventurous people and want to be on the go all the time.
Let's get some parting motivation here for some sellers. So we got sellers that are just starting out, and then we got some sellers that are in the middle there. So, speaking to the seller that's doing $20,000 a month, what would you give as a way to get to 50 to 100, 200? What's that look like to get to the next level? What do you suggest?
Well, yeah. I'm kind of not. I mean, I did it in the 1 month, right? I have a 1 month track record of doing that. Man, let's see. You know what? I think it's just finding really good products, right? Because I mean, you can sell things all day on Amazon. I think can you sell things at a profit? I mean, that's the thing is I've told people that, let me say this for those who are just getting started. It is hard right now with all the issues with all the headwinds coming against us. And so what I would say to you is, look, if you get through this, if you get through I think the next 12 to 18 months and you've survived, even if you're just barely profitable, you will thrive beyond that, because there are a lot of businesses that are going to be shutting down over the next 12 to 18 months. One of my competitors, my supplier, contacted me the other day. We have a favor to ask you. Okay, what favor did I've never had a supplier do that. What do you have? One of your competitors has just quit. They aren't selling what they thought they were going to sell. We have all this product that we have to get rid of, or we're going to get fired. And I'm wow. I just don't want to launch another brand right now because it was close enough to my product, but my product differentiates enough that it would not be my product, so I could not in good conscience sell it to other people. I think you're going to be, even though people are flooding into this, I just don't think so many people are going to be profitable, right? Especially with the big aggregators coming in. They're really going to streamline this stuff. So if you get through these next 12 to 18 months and you've got a good product and good reviews, I think you'll really see your business grow and take off, because I think you're going to eliminate a lot of competition. Go ahead.
In that regard, you bring up aggregators. Is exiting a part of your plan right now? Do you see that as something you're going to be doing?
It is going to be the fork in the road, right? It is that thing. If I exit this brand, it will only be because I've started another brand. Mm-hmm. Just because the multiple there is good enough to do it. And I will have probably started official LLCs and brands with and for my kids. And I've stepped out of it myself. And part of that has to do with this other business that I have. If it does what we think it's going to do, then I don't know that I'll necessarily start my own, but I will start my own with my kids. So we'll wait and see what it does over the next 12 to 24 months. But it's definitely on the table, because that's part of Neil and Reed's program, is that platinum principle. The 10th module is, how do you sell this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the key.
That's the moneymaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, this can transition to this. You're working with Neil a little bit now, and you've got a special link for anyone who's listening to go to. Explain this. Explain how anybody who's interested can just see how they can work with you and Neil.
Yeah, if you're interested in the mentorship process, I mean, there's a link these guys will throw up. I don't have it memorized. I think it's voltagedm.com/BAM, BAMM. Is that right?
You got it. You got it.
Yeah.
We'll have that in the show notes.
From memory on the back of my mind. Man, you can go and check it out. And it is a no pressure call. Neil is a great guy. He loves to talk about these things, and he'll just let you know if it's a good fit or if it's not a good fit. It will be no pressure. And he'll have as many calls as you need to have. So yeah, they are great to work with. They are so personable, that so much one-on-one conversation, so many group conversations. Here's the deal: how much we like each other. We've actually planned our own retreat in October, and so a bunch of us, we're all just going down to the beach together for 4 days in October to hang out with one another. We're going to talk Amazon. But we all just really like each other. And it's really fun to do business with people that you actually like, that are in the same space, and you're bouncing ideas off one another. And so Neil and Reed are going for free. Like, they're not charging us to go down there. They're just coming down. They're bringing their families, and we're all just hanging out. And we're going to do this thing called Amazon for 4 days in one of the prettiest places in Florida. So
that's fun.
That
is a good time. That's when you can make work a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep. Well, the link is voltagedm.com/BAM with 2 M's. So BAMM. Yeah. We will put that in the notes. It'll be at the comments of these videos. And also we'll put it in the description of the podcast. But
I do have one question for you guys.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I cannot figure this out. And I have searched everywhere, high and low. The blurry image issue of A+ content.
Okay.
Have you been able to unlock the secret?
The blurry image.
The blurry. So you explain it. Explain.
Okay. So basically, the big issue everyone seems to be facing with A+ content is that you put your images in there. I mean, no matter high quality, no matter what DPI you set it to, when you go in there and you click on A+ content, many times it's just blurry. No matter how high quality. Some are not, okay? And nobody seems to know why it is. Why not? I have asked other podcasters, other people. Nobody can solve this issue. If somebody knows the key to this, I would be forever grateful in figuring this out. Because no matter what I do, my images all come up blurry, and they are like as high resolution as you can get.
Interesting.
We'll have to chat after this real quick.
Okay. All right.
Because I want to see what this is all about.
Yeah, it is. Hey, you can make a lot of money if you figure out this issue and advertise it to people.
I don't think we've got the answers for you. I think
I don't either. I got to see it.
I thought maybe somebody listening into there might know the key to this.
Yeah, if anybody knows, let us know for sure. Yeah. But Daniel, this is fun. So you were the first on our Amazon seller journey. Yeah. We love hearing stories, and we're going to do a lot more of this because it helps other sellers to hear the journey of other people that have come before them. That's why you joined a mentor group. Because I mean, how nice is it to avoid every mistake that somebody else made and streamline your start? It's fascinating, and your story just brought up a really important point that you're never going to have all the information that you need. Studying it daily isn't going to help, because whatever you're studying right now was true for 4 months ago, but not true for today. So if you're not in with people that's why we like to talk about. That's why Chris and I love this podcast. I mean, we get to talk to people all the time. We get to see what's going on and learn what's new and what's going. Because if you don't have that, you're just going to be prone to making mistakes that are avoidable, and mentorship's really good. So thanks for joining us for that. Thanks for your story. I encourage everyone to go to voltagedm.com/BAM with 2 M's. You can book a time with Neil to get on a journey just like Daniel took. So thanks again for joining us, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And everybody listening, if you love content like this, make sure that you subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. And also, if you like to see things as live videos, we live stream all these podcasts. If you're watching on Solozo's Facebook channel or Solozo's YouTube page right now, make sure you subscribe. You can turn on notifications so you know when we do go live with really cool people like Daniel, so you can learn their stories. So I encourage everyone to do that. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back at this again tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.